They bought me a sun lamp. It's meant to help with depression. I don't really think it's making very much difference. It gives me a headache, but I can't tell them that, because then they'll feel bad about themselves. I don't think they realise just how much time and energy I spend tiptoeing around their fragile egos. I felt like I was taking care of them when it happened. They were all like, Zoe, our main keeper, she actually cried. And she was like, just being a bit unhelpful, really. I don't want everyone talking about it all the time and being like, oh, she must be depressed. They bought me this. But like, I just find it a bit upsetting, really. I mean, it's quite cute. It's quite furry. I do like how furry it is. But it just feels like lip service, really. Like, they want to make me feel better, but they're not. They just kept everyone, even, like, the keepers who only feed us every now and again, some of them cried. They were all like, oh, there's only 1,864 pandas left. Yeah, okay, maybe I didn't know that exact figure. But I don't really need reminding of how vital the survival of our species is, and how I've made this huge mistake. It's not like I did a SWOT analysis and evaluated whether or not I wanted to have a baby. It just happened. And you know what? It's not really even my fault, because I heard this really loud bang. I was literally just taking a fucking rest. I was just taking a rest. I'd literally just put my sleep patch on my eyes because the sunlight was getting to me, and now they've got me this fucking light. And I heard this giant bang, and I thought it was like a gunshot or something. I've never heard when have I ever heard a gunshot? But I was sure that it was. And then the next thing I know, there's just like all this blood. And I didn't mean to do it. It's not like I meant to do it. And they all just keep looking at me like, half of them are really sad for me, which just makes me feel patronised, and half of them look annoyed at me. My cage mate keeps acting like I did this on purpose, and I just feel like they just judge me all the time. And when you're with a cage mate, it's not like you can close the door and go somewhere else and do the private things you need to do. I wasn't really very happy when they got me this. And my cage mate caught me stomping on it and said that I was destructive, which I think is really judgmental considering what I've been through. I mean, I really wish that I had said something a bit sooner and explained that I need absolute silence. Like, that is just a criteria for my comfort. But I just felt like I was asking too much, because they already do so much. They feed me, and if I put in a request for some particular kind of treat, then they give me that. Look, they give me this. It's lavender. And it's really nice. And I just felt like asking for total silence was a bit much. They gave me this, well, someone gave me this eye patch. I mean, I don't know if they would let me keep it if they found out that I had it, because it was just a visitor that came and pushed it through the bars. But I really, you know, made use of this and found it really valuable. So I am grateful, and I know how to show gratitude. That is like one of the few things that my cage mate has taught me, because they are not very gracious. They are not very gracious at all. They act like we're due something and that we're entitled to some kind of treatment. And you know, I'm not so badly behaved like that. But yeah, I want them to know I'm grateful, but I also think maybe on reflection I should have asked for a little bit of leeway in terms of the silence, because I know that I need silence to sleep and to feel calm, and it does give me anxiety when people are making loud noises around me. So then actually, if I had had silence, maybe this wouldn't have happened. But I'm just really trying to see the positive in it. I think there's positive in everything, and if I just can find, I mean, really, like, I was excited, I'm not gonna lie, I was excited about having a baby, but frankly, what kind of life would they have had? I don't think I would have wished this life on a baby that I made. Maybe them, like, you know, dying now is better than them having to live this kind of life and maybe not making it. I would hate that for them, but selfishly for me as well. I would hate, like, at least I'm young, you know, I've only been matured for like 2 years, so they've only been trying to find a mate for me. And I really hate how they think that they know what is the best kind of mate for me. Like, oh, we should get someone who's also second generation, because then they also have never been back to their home country. Like, that's going to make a difference in terms of our compatibility. Maybe I want to be with someone who, well, I don't know. I don't know if I want to be with someone who's first generation, because they're going to be like thinking that bamboo is the best thing to eat, and they're not going to be as educated as I am, because I get like bamboo cakes made for me by the keepers, and they have like eggs in and like lots of variety, and I just feel like someone who only wants to have bamboo is going to just be a bit like limited in terms of their conversational abilities. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't know what's best for me. Maybe they're right. Maybe I should have tried to keep going with the pregnancy, but I don't know. I think maybe it was for the best. Maybe it was for the best, because when I look at this little toy, and it's a toy, it's not even real, it's just a toy little creature, and I can't even keep it clean, and I just, it just makes me feel stressed and sad. I don't want to be stressed and sad about what this little guy is going to look like when he grows up. What if he's the wrong colour? What if he doesn't have my pretty markings? Everyone is always saying how nice my markings are, and my cage mate, I know that they're jealous. And everyone is always saying, they give me like extra little treats and stuff, and they say, oh, you're so pretty, look at your cute little markings. One of the keepers calls me Stud. They've got a nickname for me. I've got one of this, look, I've got a hair on me and I can't even get it off. What kind of mother was I gonna make? What if I had done it and like carried on with the pregnancy, and then they had taken my little baby away and put him somewhere else with keepers who were not nice to him? Sometimes the keepers are really mean to my cage mate, and I know it's because my cage mate is so passive aggressive, just like so passive aggressive. They need to deal with some of their shit. But what if he's angry? What if he's angry at the situation and I can't explain where, you know, where his dad is, because it's not like they let me spend any time with the guys that they bring in once a year for like 4 hours. That's not really long enough to make a proper connection. And what if what if he feels lost, and what if they take him away from me, and what if they're mean to him, or they're like, they mistreat him? I just don't understand how they expect us to survive under these conditions. I know that they're going to see this video, so I feel a bit like, but you know what? Part of me doesn't really care right now. I'm too tired to care. I'm too tired. I feel dizzy. I've lost a lot of blood. They say that I should drink this tea, which I do actually really like, and that I should just rest. But then they say that, and then they bring in all these vets to come and like check me, which is incredibly stressful. It's incredibly stressful. I don't like to be touched. Well, you know, sometimes I like hugs, but I don't like, you know, to be invasively touched. That's not my idea of relaxing, frankly, right now. It's like they tell me that I should look after myself, and they tell me that I should be doing all of these things like it's my job, and then they come and conduct invasive maneuvers on me. That seems like it's not my job, like it's their job, but they don't want to do their job. They just want to pretend like it's their job to protect me and look after me and like keep me safe. And then they take no responsibility for what happens when they let someone in with it. You know, no one ever told me what it was. It sounded like a gun. It could have been a car. Maybe it was like a kid brought in like a little BB gun and they just didn't even think to check them. But you know, like, children are dangerous as well. Depends what kind of tools you give them. I mean, like a nice person gave me this, but this little rat bag of a kid had this, and they pushed it through the bars. And you know, I ate one of these like quite a long time ago, and it made me so sick. It made me so sick. I think like I already go to the toilet a lot, but like that was horrific, and I felt really bad for Jenny, who had to clean it up afterwards. It just seemed a bit unfair to her. And then they just assume that I'm really dangerous. I just feel like it's, you know, they assume that I'm dangerous. I don't even want to know what they do or what they think of doing to my cage mate. Because my cage mate is like, my cage mate hit me once, like properly scratched my face. I have a scar just here because of that. They are awful to my cage mate. They are awful. One time I saw one of them push her, as if, like, they didn't think that anyone was looking, but they did it. They did it, and I saw them. And now I can't say anything. Because what if I say something? And then what if one of them is awful to me as well? And then I'm pregnant. I was pregnant at that time, so I didn't want to say anything, and now I wish that I had. It's just rubbish. It's rubbish because I think maybe I did make it happen. like, I didn't do a SWOT analysis, but I was thinking about all this stuff in advance. Just before it happened, I was thinking about what their life is going to be like, the reality of this world, these bars. I don't know anything else, but I started to get really hopeful while I could feel myself getting bigger, and I just started to hope maybe they could leave, maybe they could see more than I've seen, because I guess you want better for your kids, don't you? And it just gave me such hope. It gave me hope, and then as soon as the hope came, that's when the worry started, and I just started to have nightmares about the reality of having a baby right now. What if they look like their dad? He had really awful markings, so what if they don't look, the nice kind of like, cute. Like, I look cute, and my cage mate doesn't, and my cage mate gets pushed, and I don't. I get lavender. So I think, it's pretty obvious what the message is there. And now they're all upset because there's only 1,864 of us, and they were expecting that there might be 1,865 of us. Well, now they're sorry as well, aren't they? Not that I did it on purpose or anything.